What's all this about?
The problem with too many deer. Humans took away all the wolves, and so there aren't any predators to control how many deer there are. And deer eat all the native plants, so...
Like what kind of native plants do they eat?
Like oak seedlings and stuff. Like this is a picture of a white oak.
Ooh, I do like white oak trees.
And if they eat all of the white oaks, then or just like native plants, then they leave all the invasive plants, which are really thorny and stuff.
Like what kind of invasive plants?
Elaeactus, mahonia, holly, things like that. Those are spiky ones. There are some things that aren't really spiky, but they're still a bad. I mean, like an invasive plant.
And the deer don't like to eat those?
Yeah, because they are tasty, and some of them are spiky. And
well, that makes sense.
When we first moved in, we used to have so many. We used to have so much or so many invasive plants in our backyard, and they were very spiky, and it was hard for me to play in my backyard because it gave me cuts and stuff. So, but like that leads to low biodiversity, which means many different kinds of living things. And
or having low biodiversity. Right.
Yeah, which means that there's only one type of thing. Like in our city, there's a road called Newton Bridge Road, and it has, if you look off to the side, there's a whole field of calorie pears.
Like just one plant?
Yeah, and only like 2 pine trees, stuff like that. And pine trees aren't really native plants. Wow. They are good.
Yeah, they are native, but they're not super beneficial for the pollinators and stuff.
And these plants are not native plants. And native plants are also like some of them are host plants for things like butterflies and nectar plants, but white oaks, of course, are a native plant and they aren't a host plant. But these are invasive plants, and no invasive plants are host plants for
our native like butterflies and stuff. And I think oak trees are host plants for like some moths and stuff, but not maybe like the prettiest butterflies.
And things like that. Like the pipevine swallowtail, for example, it can only lay eggs on the pipevine plant because the mother doesn't want to lay eggs on it, and if she was silly enough to lay eggs on a plant that wasn't the pipevine plant, then were we still okay? It would the caterpillars wouldn't be able to eat because they don't eat that kind of plant.
So like if they lay their eggs on like calorie pear or something, right? Which they just wouldn't do. So in this forest right here on Newton Bridge Road, do you think there are any pipevine swallowtails that are like? Okay, because we don't have any of their host plant there, yeah.
And there are no host plants or nectar plants for other pollinators like bees and birds.
Right, all the other native animals. Now, what is it talking about the future of our forests?
It means that the future of our forest is at risk because the deer eat too many native plants and leave all the
invasive plants.
In 100 years ago, they're not going to be native, like big oaks.
Or 100 years from now, yeah. And that makes sense because deer aren't a problem, but having too many deer is a problem. Yeah. So what else? What other issues do we have with too many deer?
Car accidents. A lot of people die from car accidents.
Ooh, yeah. Do you know anybody that's been in a car accident with a deer?
My uncle has been in a car accident before.
Yikes.
And there's such a thing as Lyme disease that ticks can carry, and deer carry ticks to your yard. And my grandmother has Lyme disease, and she has been sick for like 10 years.
Wow.
Also, it can also having too many deer can also make an impact on humans, pets, and deer themselves. Like starvation, they can starve to death, and sometimes they can get chronic wasting disease, which is really bad. It's a brain disease that they can have, and
do we have that here in Georgia?
Yeah.
Oh no.
And it was not really a thing before this year.
Here in Georgia, right? But it's starting to spread because we have so many deer. Yeah. Yikes. Now, how does having too many deer cause deer to starve? Like, that doesn't make sense to me.
Because if there are too many deer, they eat all of the native plants, and there aren't any more for the deer to eat, so they starve. Because there are no plants that they like to eat.
Well, starving to death doesn't sound very fun. Chronic wasting disease is pretty scary. Oh, who's this right here?
That's a little dog named Poppy. And one time she was out in her yard, and a deer came and attacked her, and she got really hurt.
Oh no. Does that happen like in our neighborhood?
Oh yeah, definitely. We have 3 dogs, and 2 times all of our dogs have been attacked in 1 year.
Yikes. Were they like out chasing the deer or trying to hurt them?
No. They're just like running their own business and like sniffing in the grass and stuff. And the deer just like came out and attacked them.
Oh my gosh. But deer don't attack humans in our neighborhood, do they?
Well, sometimes, because I've heard of a lady who was taking a walk with her little dog, and she had to pick up her dog and run because the deer was trying to get them.
Yikes, that's kind of scary.
Yeah, and my friend Ruby lives in this neighborhood, and she said that her neighbor's dog got attacked. And she even has 2 dogs herself.
Yeah.
So it's also kind of like dangerous
right.
for them.
Oh man. What about this picture right here? Is that an azalea?
Yeah, that is an azalea. We have a lot of azaleas in our backyard, and they have like coral colored and red colored and white colored and purple and pink, and it's just so many different colors, and they bloom in the spring, and I love it because they let so many flowers drop on the ground. Sometimes, especially when it's later in the spring when they're starting to stop blooming. And they're really beautiful, and I really like them. Except the fact that we have dogwood trees, and they're also really beautiful, and they're white with flowers. And sometimes I've seen deer reaching up and eating leaves from the bottom branches of the dogwood trees. And I really like the flowers. And they aren't supposed to like azaleas, but they were eating some of the azaleas.
They're even eating the azaleas this year?
Yeah.
Wow. Are there any kinds of like trees and flowers and things that you wish that we could grow in our yard?
Oh yeah, like for example, I kind of would like to have more azaleas because they're so beautiful here, and I kind of would like to have some fruit trees
Ooh,
too.
like an apple tree or a pear, peach or a pear, right? But we can't really grow those. But do you remember our friend Miss Anita? What did she say about the deer in this neighborhood a long time ago?
I don't actually really remember.
Well, she was telling us about the fact that when she was growing up in this neighborhood, there were no deer, right?
Oh yeah.
That in the past they used to live way, way out in the countryside, but now we have a big problem with deer here. Now, what's with all these dangerous-looking animals?
Well, the CDC says that deer are the number 1 deadliest animal out of alligators, snakes, bears, spiders, and sharks and wolves, all together combined.
What?
Deer kill more people than all of these other.
Are deer like chasing people down and like stomping them or something?
No, car accidents. Sometimes
Oh.
people can die from this.
Yeah, from Lyme disease, true. Like how many people die every year in America from car accidents with deer?
About 120 to 200
Wow. Wow,
And,
that's a lot. So what are some solutions? What can we do about this problem? Because right now we have too many deer.
3 things I want to make it. Number 1, humans or people must remember not to feed deer. Number 2, people need to allow urban bow hunters to come into their yard in the very early morning, maybe, to set up a tree stand and stay there waiting for deer, and to control how many deer there are.
Oh, but that's sad. Killing deer?
Because there were once upon a time wolves who would help control how many deer there are. Because if there aren't things to control, then there would be too many deer. And that
makes
happens
sense.
Because people took away all the wolves.
And so we can't bring wolves back.
Yeah, and so humans had to keep the deer from coming back, like too many. And sometimes if you shoot a deer, you can donate its meat to a food kitchen for people who are poor.
Like people who don't have enough food to eat. Wow, that's a good idea.
In conclusion, having too many deer makes an impact on forest regeneration. It also makes an impact on humans, pets, and deer themselves, with like starvation, chronic wasting disease, and car accidents. And the solution is just these 3 things. Have a bow hunter into your yard. Don't feed deer. And you can also help other people by doing the meat. Anyway, putting
donating meat. Yeah,
donating meat.
Now, I have one more question. Don't you feel a little bit nervous having people like shooting arrows in your yard? That seems kind of dangerous.
Not in the morning, in the early morning.
Okay, so like when people are still asleep.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good idea.
The deer, they have noticed, they probably don't know that we're supposed to be like sleeping, but like they have noticed that we aren't out in the night in the early morning, and so it makes them more inclined to come out to the yard and eat all the plants. And then when you wake up, you're like, oh no, the deer eat all of our plants, or ate all of the plants.
And also too, I guess if somebody's going to be bow hunting in your yard, you should make sure that there's somebody who's very experienced.
Yeah.
They know what they're doing. Also, the point about being up high in a tree stand is smart, because if they're shooting down towards the ground.
Because like if they put something like if they intentionally put like a native plant underneath the tree or something, and the deer try to like eat it or something, then the person would be able to shoot it.
Oh, so maybe like putting out some deer bait or something. Okay, interesting. Now, what about if people want to learn more about all of this? Like, what's your source? Do you have any information?
Oh yeah, I have this. It's the article Impacts of White-tailed Deer Overabundance in Forest Ecosystems, an overview. By Thomas J. Rowanski with the USDA. I use this for most of the things in my, I use this for most of the ideas.
For the research.
Research stuff for this.
And then the last 2 pages in here, what does he have there?
He has a bunch of resources, so that if you want to...
citations!
Yeah. If you want to see more about this, you can always see those.
So now we know you're not just making all of this stuff up.
Yeah.
So in conclusion, ecologists and a lot of scientists agree that urban bow hunting is probably the best and probably the only solution that mimics the natural predation of wolves. Well, all right. Well, thank you so much for educating us about all of this.